In today's video I have a pile of rusty old stuff here, which is a bunch of old car radios. And that's an actual Holden one. I think that's out of like a VK Commodore. Missing its knobs unfortunately, and otherwise in pieces a bit. I think those brackets are off one of these others. We've got a little Datsun radio. I'm going to be AWA Datsun. I was going to say be made by someone else. Yeah, made in Japan, so it's probably a Mitsubishi or something. I've got another AWA here, just a non-branded. Whether that went in a particular car or not, I got no idea. These are all in very poor condition, although hopefully not too bad inside. An ancient old Rambler one. Actually got a knob left on that. Someone actually put it back. That's so old it's got the Australian channels. That's an AWA Rambler. So we're doing well with the AWAs. Oh, this is one of the old ones. I remember these things with the die-cast back and TO3P or TO3 transistors. Oh yeah, and the little tuning cap. My God, I haven't seen that in a while. But when I was a kid, there was lots of these sort of things around. These would be in like XP Falcons or something, XM, whatever, that sort of era. Maybe in a bit later. So yeah, used to still see them in old cars dumped in the bush or something, and often you pinch the old radio out of it, and because no one wanted them, but you pinch get a few parts out of them. When people used to just dump stuff all over the place. And this is a Clarion, so that's basically an AWA as well. So not much diversity of brands here, and yeah, filthy. Got some sort of creature's cocoons on it. At least it's nearly got the knobs on it, and someone's butchered the front bit there. Drilled that all out for some reason, and we've got buttons broken, buttons stuck. This has actually got a cassette receiver in it, got a cassette player as well, and the other thing got is this very corroded old Pioneer graphic equalizer booster, 2 LED level meters on it. This will probably have like dual amp chips down each side or something. What's that, an AD50? I'm not holding much hope of it actually going again. Looks like it's been pretty water damaged, but be interesting to have a look at. Do the sliders actually work? Barely. A couple of them sort of move. That one's pretty rough. Those two are stuck. Power button works. A little fader. So these are like an aftermarket thing you added to your cheapo car cassette player, which is only very low powered, and these could boost them up. And you could add a couple of rear speakers as well as the front, or front as well as the rear. And they were quite good. So I might even leave the cassette ones to last. I don't know, this has got in there some paper, almost looks like someone's business card in there or something, but it'd be interesting to see what that is. That Holden one can go to one side. That's oh, that's not even a cassette player. I expected that would have a cassette in it, but well, that one was a different brand. I think that'd be a Eurovox or something, wouldn't it? Eurovox, yep, sure enough. Holden like to use Eurovox, at least in their latest stuff. Developed for GMH by Eurovox, made in Japan. That one could be worth a few dollars to someone. Shame the knobs are missing, but if someone wanted to fix up put an original head unit in their car, Micro Command. So it would have been pretty flash in its day, all those digital displays and stuff. I guess we should start with the oldest first. Let's have a look at this rusty old Rambler. What a weird place to put. So it's got like a weird, so it's not made to slide into your normal thing. It even says 12 volt negative, because back then could have been 6 volts, could have been positive earth. What's it say? Speaker 15 ohms. So God, yeah, that's not normal. Yeah, there's your little, it says trim on it. Oh, it does turn just, what does it say above that? IF something. That was just to you could actually tune your antenna to the radio kind of thing. I don't know if that knob's going to come off in a hurry. Maybe not. Probably shouldn't go too hard. We've got a screw to undo something there. And we've got the power wire out the bottom, speaker wire out the back, and oh, we've got something here. What is that? Does it say anything? Is that the earth maybe? Antenna socket is actually like a standard modern car or car radio. So they go back a bit. God knows what we're going to find in here. I wouldn't be surprised if it still goes, assuming it's not too badly corroded. They were built like a tank, these things. But yeah, I remember once upon a time these were quite a common, this style anyway. Sometimes they had the transistor in the top or bottom cover. Oh, I've got more screws to take out. But I would have pulled a few of these apart when I was a kid just to play around with and salvage a few parts out of that I probably never used. But it was a good way to learn about things, just messing around with old junk. I think I even found one of these on the side of the road going to school once. Someone actually chucked it out the window of their car or something. But I think the cover was off and it was a bit beaten up, but that was the times we used to live in once. Kind of funny. But good when you're a kid and you like electronic stuff. You never said no to free stuff, so someone always cleaned up other people's junk. God, it's stuck on very well. It's just meant to actually come apart. It should. Just rusted in place, I guess. Oh my god, this is old school inside. Look at this, we've even got a list of where the semiconductors are, maybe. 2N649, 2N408. This is very old. 1639, so that's a bit newer sounding number. 1637, that's probably our outputs. IF1 to RF oscillator. So they kind of told you all the stuff, but generally these things were pretty reliable, I think. Maybe not so much these earlier ones, but from what I saw of them, even if, you know, usually when you found an old one in an old car or something lying around, or someone had chucked out and upgraded it, still worked fine. It's got the old, it's got the Arts and Peace sticker on it, so that's how old it is. I don't know when they finished those up in Australia, but I think in the 60s sometime. Can we get this thing to... doesn't seem to move. Also, it's got an off position on one of the buttons. I assume that means it doesn't have a switch pot. Ugh, now the pot's going to turn. Yeah, if you force them, they do. Is that a turner? Yeah, yes. You can break it free, so you usually got like tone on the outside and volume on the inside or something. They're like a dual. This is just the tuning, is it? It's a bit wonky and wobbly, but yeah, that's this is turning, but the actual shaft it's on is not turning, so we're not tuning the thing. There's quite a bit of rust in there, but it's probably still reasonably intact. What is this? This may have even been made in Australia, this one. Micro cap, I don't know. Looking at it, I wouldn't be surprised if this was actually made in this country just before Whitlam sort of deregulated everything. So it would, in the 60s it's quite likely they were made here. I mean, look at the size of the heatsink slash back panel. That would have cost a bit in itself. Massive choke there, that'd just be your interference suppressor. Where's our red wire? Oh, over here. Oh, so it comes into the... oh, so yeah, there's the switch on the on-off button. Ha! Look at that. I guess you press a channel to get that back on, is it? Springing back. Yes, there's like a switch off the back of a potentiometer type switch there. Well, definitely got two things hooked up there, so one will be tone, one will be volume. Well, there's another little inductor there. I wonder if that's... maybe that's the interference suppression. That black cap's actually cracked. That micro cap thing. The end on it. It's probably still fine though. I guess we can soon find out. Old blue electro in there. Yeah, little trimmer cap mounted there, which is... yeah, it comes straight out of the antenna through this inductor, I think, into the trimmer cap. It's crazy they even offered you that. I think some of the later ones, to be fair, did too. I think it was still a thing in some, maybe even some of the 90s stuff, can I think of it. Could be wrong about that. But let's hook 12 volts up and see if anything happens. Just make sure your speaker wires aren't touching. Like usual, they're all a big mess where people have been fiddling with them. Now where does this wire go? Is it the ground? I can see something moving around in there. I'm not sure what on earth that is. It's insulated. Why doesn't it say what it does? It doesn't seem to be an insulated wire, though it's insulated from the chassis. Well, I guess that's what a multimeter was designed for. I wouldn't think it'd be insulated from the chassis if it's connected to chassis, but no, definitely not connected to chassis. Does it come to here somewhere? It looks like it goes through something there. What is that? That's an inductor. I wonder if it's either a light or a... we're on, aren't we? Let's turn it off. Is it a switched output maybe? Why would it have a switched output though? No. Is it connected to the positive? No. No idea what that is. Trying to think if some light is about the only other thing a car radio normally has on it. You would think. Well, at least the wire isn't completely corroded. Turn that on. And I guess I should just check that it's not shorted to the chassis, because if there was something wrong with it, that would be what would be the case. I guess we just hooked to ground. Oh, something's happening. Yeah, we've got a little bit of current there. I guess we should hook, well, I better check there's no DC coming out. It's not going to blow our speakers up. This could measure anything on the output of this thing. That looks good. Disconnect it. I'll re-strip those wires since they got a lot of corrosion on them. And well, I don't think I'll be too happy with an 8 ohm speaker in theory, but if we don't crank it up, it should be alright. You should obey what they say as far as impedance goes. Now, volume down, I guess. Power on. Nothing. So we do have current being drawn. Is there a way of moving these? Well, I don't think we're doing much at all. I would have thought we'd get something. But I still don't know what this other connector goes to that in. How does it come out? Oh, it goes through some sort of inductor. It's got a cap. One would assume to ground into this. So where does, oh, we do have a light in here, so there's a light on. Didn't even notice that. Probably the first time that's lit up in a long, long time. Unless that, well, that wouldn't be the light, would it? Well, it's possible. What have we got here? We've got earth. Oh, plus minus earth. So, oh, there's some of them must have had a switch in them to switch negative or positive earth. I mean, could that other wire be a 12 volt input? Oh, hang on, it does go to the switch. I thought it went to this inductor. It goes to the switch. Oh. You know what? That bloody switch only goes to the light, I think. So that's the light connection. This is probably out. Ooh, it's starting to pull a bit of current. Still not hearing anything out of the speaker, but I'm taking a risk hooking up to an unknown thing. Oh yeah, I can hear a bit of crackling. Oh, we're up to 500 milliamps nearly. Yeah, so we've got an amplifier stage of some sort. Oh, there you go. Amplifier is live. Amazing. If we get rid of that dead spider out of there. That's about it, I think. That should be... Yep. Should be two of those, so really. Oh. What is going on here? There it is. So that should be the output of the radio's audio. I think that one's the amplifier itself. But whether we can actually get anything tuned here is a whole different thing. We might have to try and get the... so that does that disengage? No. Yeah, that should disengage that, you would think. That's either permanently disengaged. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It's not disengaging properly anyway. There's a clutch here. Gotcha. Yeah, I was thinking that this shaft here should be turning the brass shaft, the bit that goes inside the tuning gang, but it's a clutch here. So when you press a button here, it should disengage the clutch, I guess. So that has no effect. And when we come back, whether that's coming back enough, but either way, that clutch is shot. It's probably... Oh, here we go. Yeah, like I thought, it's should be able to turn it. At least I know how to turn it now. But what happened to our audio? We seem to have lost it. Or is that my crappy speaker connection? Okay. Mind you, we don't have an antenna, so we better hook up an antenna to... Oh, there we go. It does need an antenna. My god, I think this thing probably works. Besides the mechanical issues with the clutches and stuff. Amazing how resilient this whole junk is. It just keeps going. There is a bit of radio there. Picking up plenty of interference, not surprising, but it's there. Look at that. Crazy. The tone control still works. suspect it's not great, but should probably pick up better than that. But amazingly, it's a goer still, to a degree. I can leave that on there, I guess. So yeah, so the power connection was down the bottom there. So I've got a couple of brackets there. Can we get this? Oh, it does actually kind of pull out. That's all there is to it. Okay, check this thing out. Whether these old transistors are working as well as they should, I mean, these caps look terrible. Doesn't mean they are, but well, I guess we could do a quick check of them. Plus we've got all this dirt and dust and filth in it everywhere. It doesn't help. I mean, these trim caps or IFs or anything could be a bit iffy, but doing amazingly well given its condition. And here's some old black caps. I'll just check those electrolytics. I always like to know how well they're doing. As I say, that's probably good. I seem to remember seeing one of these open circuit in something recently, but is that actually, that's a Ducon, so it is Australian made, I think. I think our Ducon might be shot. Do you think they would take out the audio stage? That's 0.1. There's a Ducon. Well, that's one end of it, isn't it? And that must be the other end. 0.42. I don't know if that one's shot or not, but possibly. And this one, big one here, that looks like a Phillips or something in that blue colour. Very much like, I think they actually made some of them in Australia as well, possibly. 0.1. A little fella there. 12 is probably acceptable for that. What is it? 33, I think. Maybe a bit high. Oh, quite a bit high, possibly. Is it a 33 or 3.3? God, who knows? It looks like a 32. 4 volt. And there's a dead mosquito or something right next to it. Have I actually got the right connections? No, now we're measuring 5.6. That's more like it. Probably that's even a little bit high, but it's alive. That's 10. And it says 10 volts on it. And we've got one. Where is it? There, and looks like it's soldered to itself. Must be across those two. 11. Let's see if that Ducon is. Of course, no soldering on it. And can we get that? That is just corrosion. I don't think there's any hope of fixing that. That's just corroded into the metal beyond all redemption, I think. Other than grinding it back and getting it electroplated again. Get some of this muck off it. At least a little plastic bit still intact. I guess that could be worth something. The badge is starting to fall off the Rambler, and we do have one half of a knob. I'll try to see if I can yank it into that cap. Not even sure where it's actually soldered. Ah, is it there? Maybe I think I measured the wrong thing. Now that I look at it. Oh, I've just made a bit of a dry joint there too. I think that's not a very good condition connection, but the front end on this thing seems a bit iffy. No, it's probably not that electro then. I think it goes from there to there. Still measures open circuit. Oh well. Yeah, that's the resistor, so it's that. It looks like it's got the lead bent over here. Here's some funny noises coming from the flux and stuff. Or is that the capacitor itself? That is as open circuit as they come. And we have a 500 microfarad. Is it an electrolytic? It has to be, I guess, but which is the positive? Yeah, nice one, they don't really mark it. They usually obviously mark somewhere. Well, that is probably just, is that just coming in from the power rail or something? Yeah, no, it's definitely to there. Wow. Oh, there it is, it's moving now. You'd think that'd be part of the audio stage or something. Oh god, now it's going to clog me solder sucker up. Oh, there's the hole. And it's the red, oh, you can see a bit of leakage. It's the red end, the positive end. Well, that's the can. I reckon that would be, wouldn't it? The other thing, I guess, is hook it up and see if we can find any sort of voltage across there. Oh, it might, you think it'd just be a filter cap or something. If it's not amplifier, it'd have to be power, surely. Got something coming up a red wire from that terminal block. Yeah, I can't imagine it does any more than just builder's stuff, but maybe. There's no voltage to be seen there. Typical. Oh. Slightly positive on this end, I think. I can go across here, can't it? Oh, the clutch is working again. Oh, it certainly works better with that in there. Oh well, shows that capacitor is important. Well, I think it may still just be to do with the audio stage, but that's not bad for who knows how old this thing is, but over 50 years I think we can say with plenty of confidence. Could be going on 60 years, and we've got a bit of a crack in the cap there, which I don't know if that'd affect the RF, probably not. And one open circuit Ducon 500 mic at 3 volts, 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, I just actually moved my external antenna, which is just this bit of earth wire, And of course I put it to the most convenient thing, which was the fixed wireless NBN internet access, and I thought that's probably where half this noise has come from. So now it's wrapped around a tree, and it does sound a bit better on this thing by the look of it. A lot less interference. Still great.
All the way up to things like potentially an appendectomy, in the case of appendicitis.
And is it right that doctors who are heading down need to have their appendix out to avoid needing this kind of operation while they're down?
So it's still a bit rough, but at least it doesn't pick up quite as much rubbish as before. So I thought I probably should try and fix the AM antenna a bit, but that's about all I can really do with this one, I think. I'll leave that cap out of it for the moment. Oh, we've got a cap now sticking there. That's not what we want. Little polypropylene cap there. Yeah, I don't know that it's picking up 100%, but it'll have to do for now. Maybe better with a proper earth antenna and stuff. But that's our AWA Rambler. Certainly an old one. It's actually bent up under there a bit, so that's... The die-cast bit isn't the best. I guess we could... And it's got a nice green light globe in there. I guess we could hook that up one more time, just have a look. Now that's the red wire. I don't have much point pulling that front bit off. Is it on? Okay, oh. Yeah, is the actual radio on or off? I can't tell. That's off. That should be on. Why have I got no light anymore? I'm plugged in. Don't tell me the light globe's blown. I've got 12 volts here. Well, that one's fallen off now. That doesn't help. Well, that's a bit rubbish if the light bulbs fail just from me fiddling around with it, but wouldn't be at all surprising. We'll just have a quick look under the front. I think this is a proper die-cast one. It's probably the only part of this thing worth saving is the actual plastic dial, and maybe the knob. If it is even an original knob off this, it could be off anything. Great big cobwebs and stuff in there. I guess I should be careful touching the back of that because it may all start falling off. I think the light globe's failed. Now what do we do? Take out the little piece here, I think, to get to it. Do we have to take the pointer out? I think we might actually have to remove that. Take the C-clip off. It's actually made out of brass, I think, the pointer, so that's a bit fancy. Don't make it out of good metal like that anymore. Oh, plastic. Oh, what was that? Something went a-flying. Spring. You're telling me there was a spring under there? Of course, They always have to do something like that, don't they? How does it come out of that bit? I assume you pivot it to one side. I guess the other option is if I can pivot it out of the way. It looks like it's got a second slot there. I'm not sure what that's for, but we'll just lift it up out of the way a bit, I think, and do it that way. I've got this great big lump of die cast, probably zinc. Oh, well, there goes. That's a little master. Oh, it's got one of those spring. God, I have not seen one of those spring light globe holders in a long time. Ah, cool. Instead of just the pressed metal one. But I think this light globe may have failed. Just in the time I've been fiddling with it, which is not surprising. Oh, no, it's still good. So maybe we just got a bad connection somewhere. Bit crazy. Might as well clean the dirt off this while I'm at it. Not that it matters much, but why couldn't I get that to light up? Is my power supply working? What the friggin'? If I plugged the wrong, I've got the correct leads here. Yep, they short out. What the? Okay, now we've got some weird stuff going on. Unless it's decided to fail again. 0.1. It's probably a bit high for a light globe, isn't it? Yeah, I think I've got a dicky light bulb holder or something. Yep. What the? So much for it being a cool light globe holder, because it doesn't actually work. Let's scrape the inner bit. I guess I should give that. Yeah, there's like a little rim where it fits in, where it's been pressed in. So there's probably a bit of tarnished metal there somewhere. That's what happens when you start playing with things. And now we're back to business, I think. Just double check it. Oh, there it goes. Is that just? I think I was just on a bit of flux there. Who knows? Oh well, we might as well clean this out as well while I'm at it, and get rid of all the dirt, and maybe give those buttons a cleaning while I can access them. Well, let's put this back. Man, that goes like that, I think. I don't know where that wire's meant to sit. Probably at the bottom would make sense. And yeah, if it had all the front panel and knobs with it, would have been probably a nice little shelfie unit just to look at. But without those, it's kind of useless, even for display. Would have been a nice old radio. Otherwise, oh no, where'd that spring? The spring, it's got managed to move over here somewhere. So it's got two little bits. So is it really a sprung dial piece? That's a bit weird. That doesn't make any sense at all, really. I guess it goes to the other side of it, does it? Why on earth would you want it sprung? Unless this whole piece is somehow... Now I'll lift that right back over that bit. The question is, how does the spring go? I would assume we need to push it to the other side if we're going to have any tension on it. Of course, didn't see that at all before I pulled it to bits, and it's designed to shoot out. Great idea, people. The only thing I can think is maybe if it goes that way and we push it to the other side. Of course, it's near impossible to do. Like that, and then you've got the bit there. No, I don't know why that would have a spring, but anyway, that's what they've done. Unless it's some sort of anti-static thing or something, although we still didn't get these to work. But whether any of them are set, you can spend all day on these things fiddling with them. So these, you normally, I think you should pull them out. Oh, there we go. I set it to somewhere, push it back in. Well, that one does go slightly else. Well, so we don't know what any of them are set to, but I don't think they're working somehow. Push that in. Oh, yeah, no, they weren't set, or they were set to the same thing or something, so they do work. Strange, maybe no one ever set them out of the factory, so it's not impossible with people. Maybe someone just listened to one radio, manually tuned it, and left it tuned to that. You just don't know. Because it's unlikely anything would have reset them all. But we might as well see if we can get this thing looking a little bit better, because I certainly don't want it lying around here looking like that, but I don't think I'll really keep it anyway. I can't see much point. Might be good for parts for someone, so sort of worth saving from complete destruction. Yeah, it's wiped a bit of the black stuff off up along the top there, but at least the letters seem to have stayed there for the main important bits. It is always a risk cleaning these things, but you kind of got to do it. So that bit, you know, that could easily be restored, the other black bits. And can we polish that up a bit, or is it just going to wipe everything off it? I'm going to take a risk and find out. Just try not to do the badge, AWA badge, too much. There's a little bit shining up there. And I might actually put this one on the radio museum, because I don't seem to have it on there, so another reason to clean it up a bit, I guess. No, I'm not really sure what model this thing is other than a Rambler, but they probably had a bunch of different Rambler radios, I think. But at least if it's recorded, someone with a better one can always add the details later. Or if one turns up on eBay or something, we can at least pinch the model number off it. It does have some numbers on the back of it, like P24 or something, which might be related. And I could try and, not quite sure how, try and bend that straight again. It's definitely taken a hit there. Yeah, just don't touch that plastic thing. Yeah, I don't think that's going to straighten up in a hurry. But it looks marginally better than it did. At least it's not completely filthy and corroded. Yeah, it looks quite a bit better, I think. Back to its former glory a bit when it was someone's pride and joy once. May well have just been a factory car radio, or may have been an aftermarket. Let's see if we can at least get it to light up now. Yeah, don't tell me it's not working again. It's not working again. Oh wait, well, we turned on, we're probably not. Hey, go be joking. Ah, dearie me. How in the helling name of shite are you not working again? Cool, and that it is working. So what are we not earthed? Oh, bullcrap, we're not earthed. What? You're friggin' joking me. I screwed that bit on, but it's not earthed. This piece here is now saying it's not earthed. So which part is not connected to which part? So that's the light globe. It's connected to that, but not... is it or isn't it connected to that? So maybe it is, just because this is wobbling around and isn't really connected to the front panel very well. It's just loose here, I think, isn't it? It is. It's just a bag of corrosion, probably. Wow, so they relied on nothing much as a connection, really. What's that screwdriver? That's pretty dodgy. So it's just got corrosion. What you'd think would be a good press fit, and probably was back in the day when it was made, is now a bag of corrosion and high resistance, I guess. It's just a press fit thing, which doesn't press very well anymore. I can't even get a connection across it. Yep, not connected at all. Although this should press on it as well, surely. Yeah, it does. So let's scrape that up a bit too, on the top side. Yeah, this actually fits over those bits, so you'd think that would clamp it enough, but I guess with enough corrosion, we're still not having any luck. I guess I should really scrape the metal on the top here around those pins. Sure, that'll be enough to make. I guess I could always add some shake-proof washers or something in there that bite into it. Might have to at this rate. But that's what happens when you touch rusty old things like this. Do we have a connection? Finally, we got an earth again, I think, so hopefully the light will light up this time. Oh, I should have just chucked it in the bin once I looked at it. Yeah, now we've got a green light there. We did have. Now we're not making a good earth to the chassis, I guess. Yeah, so that would don't make it dark enough. And there we go. Oh, so that lights up half decent. Quite a nice colour too. Nice teal sort of colour rather than the usual bright green that we have these days. So that would have look good in your old, don't know what you're a Holden or a Falcon or something, but anyway, I might get a few photos of that thing so we can record it. Chuck that old cap out. And then, yeah, God knows what I do with it. Might be a good one for eBay or something, for someone who might actually want it. Yeah, if it's a bit better condition, I'd just keep it as a display piece, but maybe I will still do that, but I'm not particularly enthused about it. I guess we'll get on to one of these next ones. What I've got here, someone's added an earth, a bit of speaker wire as an earth. And this one we can probably just hook straight up. It's got the old fuse holder, will be the positive. I guess we've got to get the speakers. Let's cut that bullet connector stuff off. It's not part of the original radio, has zero value. unless you've got something to plug it in with the same connectors. So it's not like we're messing any of the original stuff up. Oh, it sounds like something's making a bit of a noise there on the that's their antenna, and usually I think I used to just shove the screwdriver, if I can find one the right diameter. I always had a screwdriver going. Just poke a screwdriver like that in, that's usually enough if you've got a strong signal, which I don't, so I'll put an external antenna onto the screwdriver and we hook our positive up, volume down I guess is, oh that's tuning I think, yeah that's tuning, that'll be volume then probably, and we got nothing. Oh, but are we on? Often they've got a push button switch. Speaking of the earth wire there, I haven't hooked up there. Ooh. There we go. I was going to say, surely it works. Doesn't go into the tuning dial. Oh, cool. Something going on there. There's the tone. Tone control works. Doesn't seem to tune the full range. Only goes down to just below 100 and up to 150 odd somewhere. That's where it needs the pot cleaning. Oh, jeez. Oh, that is rusted solid. The tuning doesn't work. So this is some sort of AWA as well. I doubt there's any sign of a model number on this one either. Doesn't have any sort of branding. This will be like a 70s radio. That's got a green light in it as well. Pretty generic sort of 70s type thing. Don't think we can read anything there, and I'm not sure I'm going to get this cover off. Still undoes, amazing. Pretty standard little thing. There goes our earth connection. Cobwebs. Yeah, this is a much more familiar looking thing. We've got another old school Hitachi HA1322 IC for the amp. And an Hitachi HA11 something. 89399999 I think. 1199 for the IF I guess. Yeah, it's a bit melted, that lamp cover. Not surprising. So let's give the pot a squirt. Amazing how resilient these old pots were. They were made so well that they just could survive anything pretty much. Why is nothing happening? Oh, alright. Oh, turned the power off, didn't I? Ooh. Let's do that without the volume applied, I think. That little Hitachi amp chip works rather well. That's better, I think. Still a lot of rubbish being picked up. Probably best to do it with the internet completely turned off or not doing anything, but That seems to fix that pot fairly well. Now I've got to look at why this, let's turn the voltage off so we don't short out the speakers or anything. Why this doesn't work. We've got a sliding in and out piece, so I'm guessing that's probably what's jammed. Oh yeah, that's probably going to be it. Looks like it slides along the central bit there. Because I mean, if this mechanism's working, then it'll just keep rotating in theory. But I can see some dodgy stuff with the, oh, there's another bit there as well. It's quite rusty down in there. Get the bloody spiders out of the way. I wonder if a bit of oil down there will help. Not sure that is the issue, but there's a little pivot bit. We really need to get this circuit board out of the way, unfortunately. I think it just unscrews that. And it will hopefully pull out of the way if it's not all soldered to everything. Let's undo this antenna as well. God, I didn't think I'd ever be pulling one of these apart again. These are super common. These, back in the day, they were in everything. Every car in the 70s pretty much came out with one of these in it. So I've just undone the screws at the end of the board, pulled the wires out of the things, and there's one little metal tab that was bent there which joins it onto the tuning assembly, but we've also got these connections here. I don't know if we could just unscrew that, but possibly you can. I wonder if I should try. Rather than unsoldering it, surely in the factory they would have done it that way. I think they just pull and the cores stay behind, but it's been a long time since I've dismantled one of these things. Yeah, that's looking promising. If we can slide it up past that little metal tab, and that's a big if. Oh yeah, it's coming. Huh. And what have we got here? We've got this wire here has got to go. And there should be plenty of length on that one. Could just cut it really, but and no more spider casings. Spiders have a good old time in here. But I'm guessing some of this bits here, so that's just the bit, this bit that slides back and forwards here. Now of course it's not going to slide too well with this, but there's a pivoting piece here, but I think that's just the tuning. But I guess it doesn't matter what it is, because if it might be enough to stop things moving. Because that's certainly rusted. Does that push any further if I try it? Ugh. I almost do need to remove this knob or shaft assembly to see, does that piece just come off? It looks like there's a screw and you can probably slide it off, or at least slide it far enough to disengage it from the, something just moved I think. I'm just going to take the screw right out. There's a bit of clutch there, so yeah, that's, and then there's a washer coming after it. Those little spring washer things. Little bent over ones. Now can I get this piece off? I would assume that comes next, but does it? The thing is I don't want to bend any of the teeth on it. Maybe not. Why would that piece be there then? Definitely a clutch half. Well, this is the point when you press the buttons outside, it slides in. Oh, that ink disengages. Hey, it is on a shaft, but it's on this metal pivoting piece here. It pivots. I was hoping to disconnect this. Can I knock the pin out of that? I don't know that I can. Must be a way of separating those bits, because I can't tell which bit's actually hitting a tight spot. And it could even be the actual shaft here, because I don't think I'm getting a full rotation before it hits something. It's really hard to know what's causing the friction. Or can we just, I just remove this whole piece? How's it held in? I think you've got to take both pots off. Yeah, that might be the, but even then it's not going to make any difference, is it? Oh well, I guess it's only one way to find out. Yeah, see if we can get all these rusty old nuts off. I think the second one's just a spacer anyway. Yep, that's just a loose one to fit it into the dash. Oh. Yeah, that should get the whole guts out of the radio. Not sure it's really going to help much, but a bit hard to say what's actually jammed. Oh, then there's one of these washer things in there, that funny little just to stop the shaft turning, I guess. Well, this is going to be a much bigger video than I expected. I thought it would be a nice quick check of a few things. Almost needs one for each radio, I think. Ah, there's a couple of screws there too, so I've got to get those other rusty screws out probably. Oh well, it's not very often someone's going to pull one of these apart anymore. Might as well have a look. That's the pot out of the way, yeah, and then that's loose, but yeah, we've still got to undo these two screws underneath here, and they are in terrible condition. That, I don't think you're going to get anything into the head of it. Possibly not that one either. That's what I usually just get a big pair of side cutters, and well, assuming we can even grip this thing. Yeah, we might have to grind these off. You can often, yeah, the head's just disintegrating. You can often bite into the side of them and get them. Well, that's not going to do what I wanted. How else can I disengage that thing? I don't think I can. Need to pop. Must be a way of popping that apart. Do you just pop it off? I don't think I've ever pulled one of those apart in my life, and now my bloody screwdriver, of course it's the antenna, isn't it? Screwdriver has disappeared. I wondered where it was, but I might be able to just get that out of there. Rotate it round. I bet it popped back in. Yeah, bloody did, I think. Ah, these things, typical of them. They're designed to all pop back together, but can I, well, even if I do that, it's not, I can't disengage them enough, I don't think, to, no, they're just going to push against each other. Oh, you know, maybe we can. Come on, do something. Yeah, it would have been alright if I could have got the, oh no, even that's not going to help. Can we get that out? In, out, something. Oh, Jesus. Oh, still engaged. Ah, now we got it. Ah, but strangely we've disengaged. Oh, because I removed the clutch, I guess. Well, was it turned up before? Maybe before I disconnected the clutch, I guess. But at least we know that part turns. Better make sure this. Oh, God, what are you doing? Still engaged with that stupid thing, isn't it? Ah, you rotten. little. I just can't disconnect it. I guess it's really just a CV joint thing. Well, that shaft definitely does turn okay. Don't think the issues with that gear. So now I need to put the clutch back on. So that screw would go onto that. Yeah, the problem is now the shaft has turned. Let's screw that on. I didn't really need to take that off at all. I was hoping it would disengage something, but now if I can get this a bit out of the way and it unengaged, disengaged, or whatever the word is, that, like that. Oh, but now I can turn the whole thing. Oh, God. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, that gear does look a little chewed and whatever, and on this metal gear all seems fine. So it's the actual engagement of this brass, I guess, with the little brass piece I've got pushed off to one side with the gear. It goes onto all that. Don't know how that works, unless the teeth are just chewed somewhere. Problem is I can't really see enough of it. I need to engage it again. I mean, the teeth do look a bit chewed on it, but would they stop it going? That's a bad sign. If that's all destroyed, then we kind of not going to get anywhere with that, I don't think. I need to move that though so I can get it back around the little washer that's here. It should go behind it, I think. Yeah, I think this bit might be damaged. It certainly could do with the lubrication for a start, but can it just be those teeth? Anyway, we're going to try and re-engage these two copper bits. Little universal joint thing. What is, yeah, something in this tuning is chewed out or something. It's weird it turns so far. It must just be, I can't see, it must be badly chewed, or it's got something in the teeth. Something actually blocking it. So, yeah, right when it gets to these teeth, they actually look better over here. And yet they won't turn into this steel bit that is part of the clutch. Very strange. Unless it is the steel teeth themselves. They all look fine to me. All I can probably do is force it a bit. It does turn, but geez. Unless, like I said, there's something with this. There's another piece here sort of pressing into the thing that I can't make out. Because there's dirt everywhere. Go away, you filth. What is that, like a spring pressing against it or something? Yeah, I don't know quite what that's supposed to do. Well, we've now got to 160, but can only go down as far as 70, so we're getting somewhere. And I can't tell you why. Exactly, it is playing up. Oh shit, I didn't break something, did I? Ah, it seems to have... Yeah, now it doesn't go right back the other way. Well, now it comes down to the bottom. Well, that's really weird. Why would it shift from end to end? because nothing's slipping here, so I can't explain that. How the fault could transfer from one end of the dial to the other when the dial works perfectly fine without this connected. That hits the end. Oh, now I think we're there. Oh my god, I'm not exactly sure, but something down in that gear was playing up. I'll put a bit of grease on it, will help. Anything should do, I think. That's one end. Yeah, it's down to the other end. It's certainly better with that grease. And then I guess it slips on the clutch. Oh, now we're actually... Oh yeah, when we get to the end, it's actually disengaging and slipping on the tooth bit, which it shouldn't do. Yeah, that's slipping on the clutch, as it should. That way we actually get the brass piece slipping against, so maybe that's how it got chewed in the first place, but anyway. Goes to show you can free these things up if you're silly enough. And I didn't have to pull the two rusted screws out, which could really do with fixing someday, but I don't think this thing is going to ever be used again. So we're going to put our little funny washers back on. Well, that took a lot more time than it should have, as these things do. Once you start actually trying to repair something, you're in trouble. And I think the light globes in these should just come on whenever the power's on, so that one will be blown. I think they're a wedge lamp. But I'll have a look and see. Interesting, that one's at the top and this one's now down the bottom. Oh, it does. Oh yeah, they slide. That's right. So they are adjustable. So you can put this washer up with that bit in that hole, or down with it in the other hole. That's right. Something to do with the way the holes were centered in the dash or something, or was it because you needed room for the knobs? I forgot they even did that. But that was a feature basically in these early ones. Not sure that's really going in the hole. Pretty sure it's not. Maybe it's a bit bent. Yeah, the weird old things I used to have that are long disappeared. Bit of a useless historical knowledge now. But never know, some people restoring cars and that are probably still fiddling around with this old junk. It certainly wouldn't look right with a CD player or something in it. Even that's ancient by modern standards. So should we get these coils back over? They got the little ferrite bits that slide in and out. And we've got a little metal piece to slot onto, so I've just got to be careful. I try and get everything in place because those ferrites are probably fairly fragile. So carefully sort of tweak it back in. Probably should have done the light globe while I had the board out. But it should come out, should be replaceable with the board in place. But something here is stopping it advancing back in. What is your problem? Well, those things have hit the... Did that plate move? That plate doesn't move, no. I don't know what. The other plate moves. Well, I guess if we wind that so the ferrites are as far in as possible, because we're at the 160 end of the dial, but these don't seem to go back. Something because the things are falling to pieces by the look of it. There you go, two have got ferrite bits in it, one doesn't for some reason by the look of it. Yeah, that's what's going on. I guess we could have a look at those. Oh, God, if I can get all these stupid wires out of the way, we can have a look at what we got here. Because I used to pull things like this apart. Interesting one, doesn't have, oh, the ferrite bit is up in there, nice pink coloured one. But that's what they are, that's, yeah, a little pink bit. So that's the fixed part, the coil part of it, and then there's a ferrite bit that moves up and down and changes the tuning, or the, I guess like a tune circuit, and that's a variable inductor rather than the usual variable capacitor that you'd have in a normal radio, like a boombox or transistor radio or something. And I think some actual hi-fi stereo type radios, home radios, whatever, used to do the same. So I think that just sits, that doesn't seem right. Oh, I've got to get these screws in, haven't I? That'll sort things out. Oh yeah, there's something just clicked in place. Oh, did it? You'd think that if it was clicked in place, the screw would go in. One of them just goes in pretty loosely and randomly there. Or does it? What the hell's going on here? Come on a straight line, you silly screw. I can't get it to line up. Yeah, that's it. Maybe they're just picky as to, yeah, no, you got to flick it to one side a bit. Hopefully we didn't damage anything there. That little metal bit wants tweaking back over. God, what a horrible thing to work on. It really is not much fun. Oh, I've got to put a screw back in there. Get one of those in there. God, it feels wrong putting these rusty old screws back into anything. If I still had hundreds of ones I'd saved over the years, I could just replace them, but I don't because I got rid of them all. But there's not really much point putting a good screw into this thing. But hopefully we can at least tune the whole band and find a couple of other stations, even if it doesn't pick up that well. Hold on, I'm messing around. Okay, make sure our speaker wires aren't touching anything. Gotta put my antenna back into there. Well, that's basically going on. I didn't connect that back up. Whatever it is, does it matter? Well, it does. Oh, is that? Maybe there's that little plastic bit which I think is now busted, or maybe it always was. Almost looks like a fine tuning thing. I wonder if this had an antenna tuning cap or something that you could do from the front panel. Something like that. And the other thing we need to do is slide this. This plastic should slide up, I think. I should really turn the power off, I guess, but... Is it a wedge lamp? No wonder it's got hot, because it's got a metal piece over it. I think they're a wedge lamp, I'm sure they were in these things. Yeah, so it's got like a metal, I guess that's to protect the circuit board a bit. Since they do run rather hot. Standard 12 volt, 5 watt, I think that was pretty much all they came in. you can at least see what it looked like in its fully functional state. Guess I should really put the lid back on it, because yeah, I don't think we're going to get much light into the tuning dial otherwise. Yeah, a bit hard to see really, too much other light around here. I don't think it's doing anything. It's lighting up the hole there and everything, but not much. Like I say, what really relies, I think, on reflecting off the top inside of the cover, which is at least somewhat silver. There's a nice burn mark on the top there, but that should reflect the light a bit better. I'm really going to have to take the whole front bit off probably. Maybe I'll do that. Have a quick look at what's under here. It's not very exciting normally. At least these screws aren't completely rusted. Strange how a couple of them survive. Even the whole thing looks like it's been very wet. Ah, look at the dirt in there, my God. Clean that radio dial up a bit. Get our pointer out of the way, and what have we got here? Looks like there's some sort of label or something there. And these are probably put out with different dials in them to say different brands of different cars or something. Who knows? It may have come out in a car with AWA on it, but usually manufacturers put their own little brand on there somewhere. And in later days, that's all they put was their own brand and didn't even say who made it. Yeah, a bit of rust on the middle there, but that'll have to do, I think. It certainly looks better than it did. Far from mint condition, but yeah, that certainly looks like it's got a new lease of life now. It's so dirty before. Let's see if we can at least give it one last test and just see what it looks like. Lit up on the dial. We've got an earth wire now, haven't we? Is lit up, but you can see the green light up in there from the right angle. If I can get the reflections off it, oh yeah, it's kind of lit up. Yeah, that's it. Bit of a green glow. Where's the needle gone? Yeah, I guess you can't really see it without the front lighting so much. But that's basically what it looked like. Not very exciting. But it's cool to see one again just for old time's sake. But that one is basically done.